Hey everyone, Tony Mello, Mello Properties team. Hope you're doing well. Number here 508-386-3368, 508-386-3368. Couple terms, real estate terms that do touch our everyday showings. Wanted to go over some of that stuff. So, scarcity. Basically, the fewer properties on the buyer side now, the fewer properties that are available to you as the buyer, the worse it is. The higher the value of the properties, because more people are competing for the same properties. That is the market that we're in right now. It's a seller's market with not nearly enough properties on the market. It's February 26th, 2021. We're in 2021. So a couple years from now, that might be different. But right now, seller's market, scarcity, a principle in appraising that measures the availability or supply of available properties in a given area. The fewer properties available, the higher value those properties will receive, the higher the value of the property. All right, so that's scarcity. Something that is very similar to it is supply and demand. Now, supply and demand is not just for properties, neither is scarcity. Any product follows the same kind of principles. If this is the only pen in the world that's available right now and will ever be available, very expensive pen. So the fewer things that people are looking for, the less availability of that particular thing, the higher the price on that particular thing. Supply and demand, a principal variable to measure the value of a property in a given area. Too many properties in a neighborhood may have an effect on a value of a property. So too many properties compared to the buyers, that'll reduce the price of the property, a buyer's market at that point in time. The opposite of that would be a seller's market where you've got more buyers, fewer properties. Everybody's fighting for those properties. These days we go into open houses, or at least we were in the summertime, and there's a line, and there still is now, a line of people around the corner for an open house, which is absolutely absurd. Some of those people may not even be, there's just that excitement of being in an open house, which makes everybody's life difficult, at least the buyers and the buyers' agents, because we're trying to help people buy homes. And it's a difficult market right now to do that. So, scarcity, supply and demand. We're at 3 minutes. I'm gonna throw in an extra one. Substitution. This is a principle of, and this principle of substitution basically says that, I'm going to do it in my own words and I'm going to read that. If you've got two properties, they're exactly the same property, which doesn't happen, but for the most part doesn't happen. They're close enough to the same properties. This one is being sold for $500,000. This one is being sold for $100,000. I'm exaggerating here to make it really clear. This principle says that any sane buyer is going to buy the $100,000 property as opposed to the $500,000 property, because these two properties are essentially the same type of property, same property. As far as the usage and the emotional effect of the person that's buying these two properties, one is the same as the other than the price. So if you've got two properties and this one's 500, this one's 100, most people, sane people, are going to go, I'll buy the one that's for $100,000. That's what that principle there is kind of describing. Principle of substitution, a principle utilized in appraising. A buyer would substitute a lower priced property for a higher priced property, as long as those properties are the same type of property, have the same utility. 3 bedroom for 3 bedroom, 3 unit, 3 family for 3 family, single family for that kind of thing. So those are the three there. I'm at 4 minutes. I'm going to cut it off right here, almost 5 minutes. Scarcity, supply and demand, how they affect the prices of things, and that's why we have these cycles between sellers markets and buyers markets. And then the principle of substitution, where The buyer is obviously going to take the cheaper property, especially if the properties are equivalent to each other. Tony Mello Properties team, 508-369-9755. 508-369-9755. Have a great night.